Andrew Baena is a metal, gent, and guitar-focused creator who recently went full-time on YouTube. So I wanted to look into his channel and also collaborate with him because he's making it in 2019, and I think there's a lot of good things we can pull out of this story. In the internet world, building consistency in viewership and income is so difficult, but he's made it happen. And before we jump in, a word from our sponsor. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't have yeah, I don't get that many views. Okay. Yeah, okay, I get it. Okay. I don't have any sponsors. Okay, sorry. Let's get into the video. Number 1 is constant innovation. One of the most impressive things that I see about his channel is the variety of time periods that his most popular videos come from. From 7 years ago, to 5 years ago, to 1 year ago, to 10 months ago. Which is a massive testament to him trying new things to have a higher chance of finding something that's gonna hit really well and be popular. My initial introduction to him was 7 years ago with his viral video about Rise Records, which honestly is just hilarious.
Yeah, so the Rise Records thing was like definitely the first like viral video that ever happened to me. I say happened to me because I still don't fully understand like why it went down, but I mean in retrospect now, like knowing more about YouTube, I kind of get it, but at the time that was like, you know, when I was still very new to everything. But I certainly didn't make it with the intention of going viral. I was just like, this would be a funny video, and like that was all I thought of it, which ironically, most of the time when videos do really well are usually for videos that I just don't really think anything of. I'm like, this would be fun, and I just do it. And those are usually the ones that do really well, is the ones that are like super low effort, which is weird. But I think a lot of YouTubers will tell you that, where they're like, yeah, this video I spent like days or weeks on did like okay, but this video I spent like 2 hours on blew up.
And that was his first explosion into the YouTube world. And as I was doing my research on him, I did a Google search, and it's interesting to see that the first 3 videos that pop up are collabs with Nick Nocturnal. And historically, collaboration always comes up as an important factor for any YouTuber's growth. So I wanted to ask him what drew him to collaborating so frequently, and how effective has it been as a growth tool?
I've always done those like since way before I was even remotely successful on YouTube. The original reason why I did a lot of collabs is because I didn't do vocals. I still can't sing, so like I would always do a lot of collabs with singers at the time. That's how I started out, because I could do like the full instrumental, but I could never do the vocals. So I would always like find different people to do vocals. So now it's more just collabing with other guitarists, because that's clearly become my niche. So it makes more sense to just collab with people in the same niche as me, like Nick Nocturnal, who I do a lot of videos with.
And that is a really important thing that I want to touch on. Number 2, doubling down on your niche. Although it wasn't the same initial path that he had intended to go on, once he had saw great ROI and value for his time collaborating with these channels, he ran with it. And I see it as a concept of being completely unemotional when it comes to the way that you're getting your fans, followers, and attracting the best audience, which seems to be a trend I'm seeing in a lot of these full-time YouTubers. And now with that fantastic perspective from Andrew, I want to talk about number 3, creating sustainability. He has 9 videos over 400,000 views, which is absolutely incredible. But the difference I see in being a viral creator versus a full-time one is managing the valleys within the peaks and valleys of popularity and views that you experience, because you need to have that baseline consistency for your income, sponsorships, merch sales, and ad revenue. That's where the 2 series Band Riff Evolution and What If This Band Tuned Down comes into play. While 5 of his top 6 videos are pop songs turned metal and gent, these 2 series consistently perform above average, and they are extremely repeatable for any other band in the moderately heavy to super heavy genres.
Okay, that was successful. Let's try it again and see if we can make like lightning strike twice, essentially. Or in like the Tuned Down videos case, almost every time it gets like, maybe not like 100,000 views, but it gets more views than most of my other videos. So that was really it, was just kind of figuring out like what my audience actually wants to see, because it's not always the same as what I want to do, which I've realized. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just figuring out like what people want to see, what people find interesting, and just doing more of that rather than just doing whatever I want. The very like stuck up like metal head approach, where I was like, oh, I don't want to be like a sellout, and if I keep doing the same thing, that's like selling out, or if I'm doing what people want to see, that's selling out. But then my mind kind of changed with time. I was like, well, that is not really accurate because I also want this to be my full-time job. So, you know, as much as it would be nice to just do whatever I want, like there's definitely some times where like, you know, it makes sense to do a video because it's going to do well, because at the end of the day, it's going to grow my audience, and then that audience will then see the stuff that I really do care about later on down the road, or at least that's the hope.
And it's definitely an effective method. He's kind of creating this top of funnel content that will get people who are interested in these bands into his channel, and then from there he can funnel them into more specific areas that he wants to push that attention. And with all that attention, something that really sticks out is number 4, a really cohesive professional visual brand. So something that is super noticeable about his channel is this really lime green aesthetic that is across everything you see of his. Like, I seriously cannot look at a green guitar anymore without thinking Andrew Baena. And knowing that he started just being a fan of green guitars, this started happening.
Anytime like a guitar company would post a green guitar, like I would get tagged in it. And then once that started happening, I realized like, okay, so this has become more than I thought it was going to be, and that's when I started leaning into the whole green thing even more. I wish I could take credit for being like, yeah, I've always wanted to have just green as my brand from the beginning, but that's definitely not the case. But I more so just realized it was like an opportunity and just latched onto it.
So again, we see him taking what his community is really responding to and super leaning into it to develop his brand. And it seems so simple at its core, but it has a massive impact on how people perceive him as a creator.
As you said, like I leaned into it super hard. Like I got like a chair that's green. I got like my guitar straps are green. Like all the lights in my studio are green, like everything. And it kind of works really well with YouTube's algorithm and their like search engine optimization type of thing, because now it's like anytime you see a thumbnail that has either a green guitar or green text and a guitar, then people kind of already know it's probably going to be one of my videos, and that's definitely super helpful for branding.
So in the end, we have a creator that's been on the platform for a very long time and has been relentless in figuring out what works for him and what doesn't. He's done a great job creating weekly series that consistently keep his baseline viewership high, as well as creating videos that are more experimental and creative and outside of the box. And that, combined with everything else we've talked about, is how Andrew Baena has gone full-time on YouTube. Don't forget to like the video, because 1 like equals 1 green guitar sold. Thank you so much for checking out this video. That is super, super awesome of you. But before you go, I want to make sure that you watch this next video coming up, because I know you're absolutely going to love it. And if you do not want to watch that video for some reason, which doesn't make any sense, you can just subscribe here and go on through your day. But I really encourage you to come and stick around, because I think it's gonna be a great time. Like, I handpicked this video for you, so you're going to enjoy it. Give it a look. If you're not gonna do it, then, you know, I'm a little heartbroken, but I still love you.